Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever time it is where you are. I want to welcome you to our very first podcast of Emanate Leadership. And I'm one of the co-founders of Emanate Leadership. My name is Dr. Farokh Jiveh, and I am so happy to be here with you. If you check our website and our coaching, you will see that this this all started a few years ago for me, and I'll explain that. And we're here to help our colleagues. We're here to help everyone to understand that there is more to life than reacting to life. And it is all about how we design our life. And I want to go into this, our first episode, and I like to call this the silent struggles in dentistry, the stress, the depression, and the golden cage that sometimes we make. Some of the stuff is from my personal experience, and I will share all of that. So I remember it was in 2019. It was before COVID. And we had our Florida Academy of Cosmetic Dentistry. And one of my great friends was a keynote speaker, Dr. Kyle Stanley. And I had the honor of introducing him. And he it was crazy. I went to sit down. I said, I'm going to introduce him and I'm going to learn about dental implants because I've seen all of his work all over the internet. It was beautiful. And I introduced him, and first question he asked the audience, it was a full auditorium. He said, do you guys know of a colleague or have heard of a colleague that took his or her own life? And I was shocked by that question. And I turned around, almost every single hand was up. And I knew there is an issue. Just, I could tell our job is stressful and our life is stressful, and everything we do, everything we feel, everything the patient feels, we're so close to the patient. And the stress we carry, and we go home, and it can affect a lot of things. But it was at that moment that I said, wow, this is real. And I got to be really close with Dr. Stanley, and we share a lot of stuff. And it's amazing how I just, it was a wake up call that day. So, my whole purpose for Emanate Leadership and the way we created this coaching is to hopefully not only bring to attention, but design a path that works from inside out, that you become bulletproof, that nothing from the outside can affect you. It is the strength and power that we want you to have. Not just have, we want you to realize that you already have it in you. It's like a caterpillar. It doesn't know it has wings. It has to sit through its stuff, go through this transformation to realize it was all inside of it. And that's what we're about. So let's talk about that a little bit. I'm going to talk about the bullet points, and I'm going to talk about some of the possible solutions to it. So let's get going. We all know, we have heard that the suicide rate is amongst the highest of any profession in dentistry. And it's amazing that how we take everything in. I'll give you an example. So many things can go wrong. This is not like you take your car to a mechanic and they find a default piece and they replace it and you're fine. It doesn't work like that in dentistry or medicine for that note. We're dealing with biology. We're dealing with tissues. We're dealing with cells. We're dealing with nerves. We're dealing with so many factors that maybe in the way, even though we are creating health, I'll give you an example. I have patients that come in and I can see obvious decay, and I show it to them, and we remove the decay. We bring health back. And the next day, patient comes in, doc, I'm in pain. I didn't have pain before I saw you. I was fine before I saw you, before you touched the tooth. How does that feel? How does that feel that you are the one that caused it? That's what it sounds like. And all you try to do is bring health back. It is not easy to take. It takes a bulletproof person to deflect and cure the situation. And all of that comes, of course, there are solutions to it. We tell the patient beforehand to be expecting it's possible. And it's not. Sometimes I had a patient the other day, and I was reminded of my language, the way I speak to other colleagues. I was talking to another colleague of mine, and I said, oh, the poor patient. We just did x-rays on him, and he has so many cavities. And she said, no, it's not a poor patient. He did it to himself. Sometimes we forget. A lot of times patients neglect the work. And a lot of times we take it all in. So anything that happens, or if a crown breaks, or if a crown goes bad, comes off, we're the first ones to take the blame. Oh, don't worry, I'll do it for free, no problem. Why? Do hospitals ever give their money back if somebody passes away? No. Why is it that we are the ones to always fault ourselves? And I'm not saying be rude about it or not be sympathetic to patients, but there are things out of our control. And the best solution is to inform the patient beforehand. So there's an emotional toll to this path to perfection that we yearn for, that we want for patients. And so many things could go wrong. And you just have to be strong enough from the inside. And I'll go piece by piece as we go. So these are some of the problems that we have. I want to talk about this golden cage because I was there. I was on social media. I had an M4 BMW, and I remember standing behind it, showing the car first. Look how successful I am. Look how happy I am. Look what a beautiful family I have. And inside, it sucked because it was tough. It is hard to come to work and try to lead a team if you are not there emotionally. It is impossible to lead a team if you are not a born leader. And some of us are. But if you don't have the tools, the guidance to become a leader, to realize that you have wings, it is tough. It's tough out there. So we seemingly create this successful life and we blow it up on social media. And it's the lack of fulfillment that sometimes we feel that this is not how it is. These are just highlight reels. It's being rich on paper and bankrupt emotionally. Disconnection in relationship. Sometimes I remember personally when I got home, I was just saying, I need 15 minutes to unwind. And regardless of what a tough day it was, I just needed to unwind when my kids needed my attention. We lacked the presence at home due to emotional exhaustion and obsessive focus on the business. Obsessive focus on the business. We want everything to go right. We want everything to be fine. And unfortunately, our spouses or whoever, they get the blunt of it because we're not present. Even on vacation, I've talked to colleagues of mine, even on vacations, people are calling the office on vacations, being in another continent, worrying about what's happening with the office. It's that kind of stress of running the practice that can really take a toll on your personal level. Another thing I can personally attest to is the neglect of our physical health. You just become content. Just let yourself go. Now, there are many dentists who are so in shape, and that's amazing. But all of those mental, physical, relationship, and finances. If one thing is really good, others may be lacking if you do not have that guidance and leadership. It's about having irregular meals. It's about having fast food when you have 30 minutes for lunch. It's about ordering that pizza because we got to keep working. We got to keep working. I do have a great lecture coming up on fee for service, pathway to fee for service, to be able to have time to yourself, see one patient at a time, to not double book. I haven't double booked in 15 years, unless for some emergencies. I haven't double booked. So a lot of times we avoid therapy or coaching, or we are ashamed, or we don't have the time. And overwhelming becomes normal. It becomes normal. Ah, dentistry is stressful. I respectfully disagree ever since my wake-up call. Our energy in our office is, you can cut it with a butter knife. It is amazing. I look so forward to Mondays. I cannot wait to get to work. Patients feel our energies, and I'm going to go into some solutions in that. Dentists are always pushed into, out of dental school sometimes, if you get your own practice, we are pushed into becoming a leader. Just becoming a leader. How to lead your team, how to lead your office manager. Nobody trained us. Nobody told us that. And granted, there are many coaches. There are many coaches that come in, they create systems in the office, which is needed. I'm not disagreeing with that. But there is a self-leadership that we lack, and we have to have. You have to become a leader in your absolute power to lead others. Otherwise, it doesn't work. To lead your patients, to get rid of any kind of tension in the office. And it comes down to energy and who we are. It all starts from the top. We are the prototype. We are the exemplar. Everyone watches us. It's like being parents. Our kids watch us. They feel us. They imitate us. And you've heard this before. As we go, so does the practice. And we're not 100% all the time. Because again, that patient walks in, blames everything. Or you can't get somebody numb. How does that feel? It's horrible. Because you're not, the last thing you want to do is inflict pain on patients. And they're already scared. They're already apprehensive. Even them making a phone call, it's a huge step. And imagine you can't get them numb. What do you do? All right, the next topic is financial pressure. There is, I don't have the stats, but dental students getting out of dental school right now, they're probably on average about $100,000 in debt. Imagine getting their own practice. That's even worse. That's a million, sometimes $1 million in debt because of school, that cone beam, CEREC machine, all of that stuff. Unless you are given that stuff from your parents, which very few of us have that luxury. Even then, you have to buy your own instrument. So you're already in debt when you're coming out. So what do? Let's say you go work for a group practice. You have to produce. You better produce. And what you're offering sometimes to patients may not be what ethically you were taught. That's another guilt. That's another guilt. When you can do a filling on a patient that insurance pays $160, or you can do a crown that insurance pays $800, you could do a filling. And you recommend the crown for production because you have to make that cut. How does that feel? It gets to you. And a lot of times, us as dentists, we tie our worth into what we produce. If finances are good, our mood is good. If finances are down, we are down. And that shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. If honestly, we should have gone to a completely different business if it was about money. That's not what it's about. So the system forces us to not do ideal dentistry sometimes for the sake of production. And that is a huge weight. I want to talk about true wealth. True wealth is truly not just profits. It's a peace of mind. It's what you did for the patient. You did your best. And I tell my patients, you are getting my best, but things happen. So you tell them beforehand. So for these reasons, this is why I'm having a podcast. This is why we have Emanate Leadership coaching. Because there are struggles out there. Let's say regarding depression, regarding abuse, alcohol abuse, gambling. So much of that goes on in our profession because it's a getaway. It is a release. It is a way to be away from it all. And unfortunately, that's not the right way. At our coaching, we normalize this kind of conversation. If Dr. Stanley had not gone up to the stage And his first wasn't that question that how many colleagues do you know that have taken their life? I would not be doing this. This has to be in the open. We have to talk about this. So we normalize this type of conversation. It's about vulnerability. And we do one-on-one coaches, and we come in, we talk to the team as well. It's about elevation of your soul and your power. It's through real talk, community, and leadership coaching, where we create truly a safe space where vulnerability isn't just a weakness, it is a strength. And you have to realize you're not alone. There are so many out there that are in the same boat, that are suffering, just making it through. Let's talk about the golden cage that we're all making. At Emanate Leadership, we teach you emotional intelligence. We will help you redefine success, freedom, presence, and purpose, not just profit. We show you how to unlock the cage from the inside. I am literally the living proof of that. And I want you to understand, when I talk about my practice, it has nothing to do with ego. I learned how to kill my ego. It does show its head once in a while, but this is not about ego. This is about purpose. This is about being. This is about power. This is about leadership. We will teach you. We will guide you. We will get you to a point that you do not need a motivational book, a coach, a speaker. It's like an alternator in a car. An alternator in a car, you know how that works? Because the car is running, it regenerates itself. It gets energy itself because the car is running. We want that energy to become from the inside. You don't need a reel to tell you how to live your life. You freaking live your life to your highest on every single domain. That's what Emanate Leadership is about. Let's talk about disconnection from your relationship. We will teach emotional intelligence and intentional living. So your family gets your best, not what's left after a hard day. None of that. Because you will have the best day every day because of who you are becoming. Leadership starts at home with presence and communication, and we will help you get there. Again, it is an inside job. Let's talk about physical and mental health. We introduce the 4 alignments: the mind, the body, the spirit, and our mission. True leadership, it means wholeness. You cannot pour that from an empty cup. We will help you refill it. Regarding we just don't build better bosses. We build better human beings. It's not about being the boss of this. It's not about being a leader does not mean that you have control over things. It's about empowering by you being the example of pure power. That is what emanate leadership is about. It's an inside out process to know yourself, to lead yourself, and then lead others. Has nothing to do with outside validation or how many likes you get on a post. None of that. Financially, we separate your worth from your wallet, if that makes sense. They're totally different things. And through that coaching and mindset shift, we guide you towards a financial intelligence and inner security, not just external gains. That will come. This is not woo-woo. This is physics. That you do not react to life. You get to design your life. And we are there to guide you. All right, it's almost 30 minutes. I want to thank you all so much. And I'm honored. And this is the first episode. And I look forward to many more to come. You guys have a great day or evening, wherever you may be.